Hi, it is the month of June of 2024. I am Erin Parks of Parks Ag Solutions, and this is just a video series where I like to do a deeper dive into some content that might be a hot topic in agriculture, might directly be related to grain marketing, which is what today's video is, or general education is the purpose. So the topic of this video is going to be grain marketing in a localized drought. And honestly, you could even use it in a scenario that if you're having a localized flooding or too much rain. And let me show you why I picked this topic. Open up here. Here we go. Let's look at this map, and this is the drought monitor for Indiana that we last came out with. And you can see the majority of Indiana is having some type of drought issue, even though it's just moderately. We are experiencing some weather issue and lack of rain. Here locally, we haven't had much of a rain since June 2nd, and I'm recording this on June 24th. So let's talk about some of the risks that you have when you're in a localized drought. Experience lower yields. So your yields aren't as high because of the crops being stressed. So you're going to end up with a lower revenue just because of having less bushels. You could have lower quality of the grain as well. So by having discounts, maybe based on lower test weight or an increase in aflatoxin or any other type of mycotoxin, could end up lowering your cash price per bushel. And then a stronger local basis can be a risk as well, especially on price when you need to re-own contracts. So if you've already sold contracts and you need to re-own those from the elevator or a processor based on basis, that can get very expensive. And especially if you're in a specialty market, it could actually be quite expensive. So those are just some of the risks. The reason 2024 seems different than 2012 is that 2012 was widespread. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, everybody was experiencing this major drought that hit the Midwest. This year, that's not the case, or at least now, not as of yet. But wanted to talk about what that looks like if your local area is experiencing the drought, but those other places that majorly affect the markets are not. That could be a situation where you may not see the price increase like we did in 2012 from June on. And a reminder of that is going to be this past wheat market. See if I can get this pulled up. So the July, this is a July wheat chart from the last 3 months. And you can see back here in May, we actually hit a high. See that frown, that upside down grin, signaling that. And then after that, all the market did was have a sell-off. And that was back on May 28th. So what we're trying to avoid is selling at this 555 down here towards the bottom where we're currently trading, and taking advantage of some of that we would have had back there at that over $7 mark. So let's talk about some of the strategies. As far as selling goes, so if you feel like you do have bushels to sell, you can sell in increments based on either price rallies or actually even based on just the calendar. Last year, I had a kind of saying that if you're getting the rain and making grain, it's probably time to be doing some selling. This year, that may turn out to be the exact same way, especially if we continue to see Iowa and Illinois have good production. Buying puts is another way. So let's say you may not feel like that you are in a position to sell physical bushels. Buying a put is a way to set a floor if you do have bushels later and this market just continues to move lower. Understanding your crop insurance policy, knowing what your revenue guarantees are, as well as what your bushel coverage is. We are post-planting now, so you should be able to dial that in a little bit more with your crop insurance agent to know where your guarantees are. A couple of things to note is that the December 24 did gap at 502 back in December. So December 29th of 23, we did have a gap in the trading market at 502. So the question becomes, if we start having major, some buying back based on weather, how high could we go? And I would say just keep that number in mind, because it may not be as high as what you're originally thinking right now. That 502 is going to be a major resistance point. Not saying we can't get there. It's just a level that you need to be aware of. It is there. Also, too, November soybeans keep on testing new lows. When I was researching this video, they were trading at 11.17, and as of yet have not found that low for November soybeans. So some strategies: selling in increments, buying puts, understanding your crop insurance policy. And I would even add on the selling of the increments, if you wanted to do futures only contracts as opposed to cash contracts, that way, if your local basis does go crazy during the fall or thereafter, you would be a futures to futures re-ownership as opposed to cash price to cash price re-ownership. If you have any questions about the information in this video, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Send me a note and we will talk. Thanks for watching. Bye.